What is up, guys? It's your boy Sparker, and you're back at it again with another Spider-Man rant. Last time I ranted about something Spider-Man related on this channel was September or October 2019, and I gotta say um that's actually one of my highlights on the channel. I'm not gonna lie, maybe not top five, or arguably maybe one of the top five. But anyways, I digress. Today I'm gonna be ranting about how horrendous the Madame Web movie is. And let me just say this right at the start. If you have not seen Madame Web, do yourself a favor and do not watch this movie. Because let me tell you, when I finished watching the movie, that's when I truly realized that I wasted 2 hours of my life. As a big Spider-Man fan, someone who started with the Sam Raimi movies, watched all the movies, watched pretty much all the shows, and read some of the comic books, played the video games, I gotta say, it was really bad. Really, really bad. Like, Morbius was like, okay, it's not as bad as people say, but it's still bad. But this is just worse. This is just worse. Let me start off by saying it just feels like sometimes the cast didn't even want to be there. And there were times where you could definitely tell they're like, all right, let's just do the scene. And I can tell because at one point in the movie, I hear Dakota Johnson giving that I don't want to be here huffing and puffing, or scoff. Really? Like, and then she says the line. Like, I can't tell if that was actually the character or that was actually Dakota Johnson basically telling herself, okay, let's just do. You're getting paid for this. Let's just say the lines and get over with. Like, I don't even know. Don't even get me started with the main villain, Ezekiel, who, in my opinion, is so monotone, just flat out boring as a villain. Just wasn't even interesting. It's just poorly written. Like, okay, we see her motive, but okay. I don't even have any words. It's just boring. The other main protagonists, like, I don't even know the characters' names. The only one I know is Julia Carpenter, which is Sydney Sweeney's character. Only because when I'm really bored, I watch the Iron Man animated series, and Spider Woman is in that series. And I gotta say, look, I don't even like any of those. I don't like any of the characters. There was no such thing as a likable character. Even Ben in this movie wasn't even that great of a character. It was bad. It was just bad. And when they're teasing that Mary Parker was pregnant with Peter, it's like okay, we know it's Peter, but whatever. Like, it's not bad to where I don't even. You would think we would be jumping up from our seats, like when she's hinting that it's Peter, like when they're doing the guess the name game, which that scene was just hands down really bad, really awkward. Like, even the cast was like, I can't. Again, this is one of those where it's like I can't tell if that's just how the script was or if that's just the vibes in the room when everyone's like, oh, like, I don't know. It was just bad. It was just really bad. And there's just so many unnecessary dialogue in that movie, or just poorly written dialogue. The script was just bad. The movie was just bad. I don't even care about the soundtrack. There was nothing epic about the soundtrack. And you'd be surprised at how much of a difference the soundtrack could make to the movie. It was just bad. Like, I could care less about it in this movie. And it just didn't even... The way that all of the main protagonists finally grouped up, it just didn't sit right with me. It was just like, whatever. Whatever. It just kind of felt like an essay where they're like, okay, we have our requirements. We need to figure out how to get these characters together. Like, how are they all connected? But it just did it in a way where I could care less about it. It was just bad. I'm trying my hardest to remember what happened in that movie, and it's just so bad to where I'm trying to remember what happened in this movie for this video, while also trying to forget what I watched last night. It was just horrendous. And the final act was just, it didn't make sense, because, little spoiler, I don't even care about giving a spoiler warning, actually. In the beginning of the movie, when Cassie Webb's realizing she has powers, she's like, what's going on? What is going on? Like, she's trying to save another fellow paramedic, and she foresees that he's gonna pass away, and he's gonna get in a wreck, and she's like, I need to drive. I just have a bad feeling. Like, okay, I in that scene, they stress that the warehouse that is on fire has highly explosive contents, and not only that, the building is so structurally weak. You would think that they would extract all the explosive materials, empty out the warehouse basically. But no, in the final act, when they're trying to figure out how do we stop or escape from Ezekiel, well, Cassie Webb's like, oh, you know what, let's go back to the warehouse where we had all those explosives, like all those fireworks, the building that's so just structurally bad. Like, to me, I was like, wait, hold on, how are those fireworks still there? How is all that still there? Like, come on. You would think they would say, hey, you gotta get this out of here, like they'll just get it all out by then, but no. It just didn't make sense to me. The final act didn't make sense to me. Even the dialogue, or like it just didn't sit right with me. I could care less. And when Cassie's learning about her powers with that guy who saves her mom from the La Araña tribe, I could care less, dude. Like, that scene was just bad. Like, that point, the script was bad, when she's realizing why she has powers and what happened to her mom, really. What was really going on when her mom was pregnant with her. It was just a bad scene. And then when that guy, I don't even know his name. I don't even think they even gave him a name. But when he tries to deliver the iconic saying from Ben Parker, with great power comes great responsibility. How do you fumble that? How do you fumble that saying? It wasn't even... He said it in a reversed manner. Like what he says is, with great responsibility comes greater power. Like, what? No, how do you fumble that? Sony, how do you let that slide? I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about that. But that was just probably the worst thing in this movie. Actually, no. That's one of the worst movies. I actually don't even know what's worse. That, or how bad the costumes were. At least like Dakota Johnson's Madam Web costume. It is so bad. Let me just show you guys what her costume is supposed to look like. Give me, oh my. Let me just show you guys how bad it is. Like, this is what her costume and throne is supposed to look like. But we didn't get that. We didn't get a Madam Web that looks like this. We didn't get that. Instead, we just get something super plain. I mean, this is the costume we pretty much get in the movie, which that was fine, but it's really when we see her actual costume. Where is the costume, by the way? Let me pull up the costume because it just looks so plain. Like, look at how plain this costume is. It just looks so bad. It just basically looks like they took Velma's suit from Scooby-Doo 2 and just put Spider-Man designs on it. Except with a darker shade of red. But I can care less. I can care less about that. Switching back to my webcam. The costumes are just bad. We don't even see the costumes for a whole minute. Like, Sydney Sweeney's costume was... It wasn't even that great. Like, where are the lenses on that costume? Where are the white lenses on that? Why does it look like it's covering part of... Well, the mask is okay. It's just the lenses that's really bothering me. But it's just bad. Like, even the last scene in the movie, the last minute or two, was just really bad. Just really cringe. And you notice that there's a reused Spider-Man 2 scene that someone pointed out online. Someone else online even pointed out that there's hints of the Spider-Man PS4 theme in there. It's just so lazy. I don't even know what to say. It's just bad. Even... I don't even... Words can't even express how just so unsatisfying that movie is. I know I'm saying that a lot right now, but I just can't help but stress how horrendous it was. How not so creative this movie was. And let me just say, usually when it comes to anything Spider-Man or superhero related, I usually like to see the movies at least opening weekend, as early as opening weekend. But this time around it was different. I was in no hurry to see this movie. And when I saw the announcement that it was going to be on Netflix, I was like, oh, okay, it's almost here. I'll probably watch it in a couple nights. Well, somehow my mom watches it before me. But the fact that she goes in a group chat and says that it was really bad, in all caps, that's another level of bad, in my opinion. So, it's just bad that... How can Sony let this slide? I am worried about the live action movies because, let's be real, Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage was very underwhelming, actually. Tom Hardy doesn't fail at his performance as Eddie Brock / Venom. He did great as Venom, but honestly, the overall movie wasn't really great. Like, it was like a 6 out of 10, like 5 out of 10 maybe movie. Wasn't that great. And then Morbius, like, I didn't even see that movie in theaters. That was actually the first Spider-Man movie that I really didn't see in the theaters. And let me be honest and just say I was glad I waited till it came out on Netflix because it was bad. Just, I could care less about the Morbius movie. Sure, they're trying to build it to Sinister Six, but in that movie, they brought in the Vulture from the MCU, but I could care less about that. Like, that was just a poorly executed movie. It, in a, it was just a boring movie in my opinion, or like it wasn't even memorable. I don't remember a lot of the stuff that happened in that movie. Like, it wasn't bad. Okay, it was bad, but not as bad as people said it was. It was. But after seeing Madam Web, I was like, okay, this is like everyone. A lot of people are saying, hands down, one of, if not the worst superhero movie of all time. And it's such a shame because there's so much potential with the Madam Web character. They could have maybe gone about this with a series like, okay, this is how we get a like Spider-Verse type of Madam Web, but no, this is just a Madam Web restricted to one universe. And that's the part that really upsets me even more. How do you fumble that too? I don't even know. There's not even a post-credit scene in that movie, which thank God there is no post-credit scene. I am glad that it just seems like they're not going to touch that universe specifically again, or at least that character again for a while, that version of the character for a while. And it has, with the shortcomings with Let There Be Carnage, or let me put it this way, Let There Be Carnage was underwhelming. Morbius was very meh. Madam Web was just horrendous. And with the Kraven the Hunter movie still coming out later this year in December, I could care less about that movie. I don't even want to see it in theaters. I could care less. This movie just genuinely hurt the Sony name when it comes to live action Spider-Man universe. Or universes. I don't even know what's going on anymore. It doesn't seem like they know what to do anymore. It just seems like they're desperate to hold on to the Spider-Man character. Can I blame them? No. I guarantee. I'm not gonna lie. It's a cash cow. But honestly, it's just bad. And Kraven the Hunter apparently is not even like your typical Kraven the Hunter. I don't know how you can even fundle Kraven the Hunter like that, but they already fumbled with the movie before it even came out. I saw the trailer. It wasn't even good. I didn't even like the trailer. It wasn't your usual Sergei version of the character. This is just bad. Sony, I don't even know what to say. I am just... No. I'm just gonna end the rant here. This is just really bad.